Broadcasting from Slough. Streaming around the world.
This is Mark Denholm on Atom Radio.
Atom Radio. Oh, yeah. Playing the music you want to hear.
The podcast.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
Here we are on Friday the 13th, finishing off the podcast, episode 110. Hello, welcome. Thank you for checking out this podcast. And also a big thank you as well if you did check out the show this week as well. That was much appreciated. On the way, the best bits of Drive Time, episode 110. This week we discovered a problem with lockdown causing an issue for the naming of the very show upon which this podcast is based. Christmas decorations, are they up too early? We have a toilet challenge as well. And I mean, this is certainly is, well, it's one I'd take on if I didn't have to clear up the mess, but there we go. What sleeping says about you, as in how you sleep. Possibly the most inappropriate thing ever done is on the way as well. Rushing to get married for all the wrong reasons. And also happy hour. What would you do if you could? All that and more in episode 110 is on the way. Enjoy.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
So we are off and running for a brand new week. I do hope your weekend was filled with something anyway, despite lockdown. I hope you managed to get up to something. And it wasn't quite a complete write-off. The weather wasn't bad. Which is all right, you know. I mean, back in the summer when we had the lockdown early summer, we had all right weather. Not anywhere near as hot, obviously. But what I'm thinking is, though, that this lockdown, probably and the last one as well, although I didn't really think about it last time, has ruined the name of this show. Because this is Drive Time or The Big Drive Home, whichever one you prefer. But if you're working from home, then that's kind of nullified the name of my show, hasn't it? What should we call it then? I don't know what to call it now. We need a name for this show through lockdown until the 2nd of December, if you believe it will end then, that kind of sums up what we do. And I don't really think the big walk down the hallway from the living room, from the dining room to the living room, is quite as free-flowing as Drive Time.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
So we're talking about Christmas. Not that I would normally be talking about Christmas at this point in time. But over the weekend, I have seen loads and loads of people with their Christmas tree already up. So we're talking like the 6th, 7th and 8th of November. Not December, November. All right? If you buy an advent calendar, it has 24 days on and you count down to Christmas from the 1st of December. So therefore, I would say that you don't put your Christmas tree up until the 1st of December at the earliest. Now, I'm going to be entirely honest here, right? Before I had my son, I didn't even bother putting up a Christmas tree because I didn't really see any great need to it. But now, obviously, because I have a son, I put up a Christmas tree so Santa has somewhere to leave his presents. But I would not be putting it up in November. So what are you saying then?
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio.
Talking about Christmas, is it too early to have your Christmas tree up or not? Blair has smashed everything out the park now. Her Christmas tree went up on Saturday, so that would have been the 7th of November, which is, a month and... Well, it's well over a month to go till Christmas. I can't be bothered to calculate it. I could if I could be bothered, but I can't. Anyway, her Christmas tree went up on Saturday, and in response to the question, when is too early to put up your Christmas tree, she says any time after the January sales is good with me. So what happens then? You put Easter eggs in that under the Christmas tree as well, and trick or treat is done by the Christmas tree. I don't know, any time after the January sales. It's hardly worth taking it down really, is it? You may as well just throw like a dust sheet over it for a month and then just unveil it again.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
There is an email that came in the last hour, and I must admit, I'm sorry, Mandy, for not reading this earlier, but I thought it may just have been with the brain teaser. It does say, Mark, I listen to this show quite often, and you're always talking about what you can get for dinner. Have you ever thought of cooking? Well, do you know what, Mandy? Yes, I have. But, like, I don't know about you, and you haven't said in this, I find that living on my own, cooking is just such a pain for one person. I genuinely do. And I put my hands up and I admit I eat more takeaway than I should. But it's just so much easier, isn't it? Like, you know, the other choice is just get ready meals and heat them up at home, and they're not genuinely that tasty, really, are they? So, yeah, there's your answer to that.
Mark Denham.
Lockdown 2, day 6 is what it is. And if you are, now, I don't know what this guy was doing, by the way. If you are in London Paddington Station, all right, obviously everywhere is asking people to keep their distance and adhere to the 2-meter social distancing rule. Well, a man in London Paddington has shared a picture of the toilets. All right, it's nothing bad in that. But the sign on the floor says, keep your distance. Now, I don't know quite whether they've not worded or placed this sign right or not, but they've placed this sign 8 feet away from the target. 51-year-old Alistair Hilton has then gone on to say that he was forced to use a cubicle because he wasn't sure that from 8 feet away he would be able to stand and hit the target at the urinal. Now, they've put this sign out, keep your distance. They haven't got any of the toilets out of order, so it's not like it's saying there's a row of 3, don't use the middle one. It's saying keep your distance with a line, and it's 8 feet back from the toilet. So if you go to London Paddington, you have to be able to wee in a urinal if you're a bloke from 8 feet away, I'd guess, without missing the target. So the question today, what is the worst thing that lockdown has done to you? I mean, this is just ludicrous, isn't it? On air at atomradio.co.uk. Drop me a Skype if you want to come on and have a chat. What is the worst thing that lockdown has done for you?
Mark Denham on Atom Radio.
I think a lot has just been revealed about me. A news story, I'm not going to say anything about the news story, has a picture of a lady on. And I thought, oh, yeah, do you know what? She looks all right. And she's wearing a face covering in this first picture. The second one has a picture of the same lady without the face covering. And I'm now thinking, no, actually, it's all okay.
Mark Denham on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
Mark Denham at Drive Time, loud and proud with the music you want to hear on Atom Radio. If you have a spare £95,000, tourist visits to the Titanic are commencing next year. £95,000. That's not the worst thing, though. The worst thing is, did they even recover all the bodies off of there? Oh, you can keep your 95 grand and that. I'm not going.
Mark Denham.
New research has been done by a bed firm on what how you sleep says about you. All right, so like there are loads and loads of different sleeping positions. And funny enough, I was discussing this the other day because I have a super king size bed at home, and yet I live on my own. So that whole super king size bed is mine. And I know some people will starfish all across the bed and take up all the room. Me, on the other hand, you could just, well, when I sleep, I will literally flip over from side to side, but I don't move. Other than that, I will sleep up and down on one side of the bed, and the rest of the bed just always remains unused, which is therefore a bit of a nuisance because I end up washing 2/3 of the sheets that never ever get used. But anyway, you can't really cut the sheets, can you? I'll just wash this bit and then stitch them back together. That may be a bit confusing. 23% of Brits, the most popular one, is that you sleep on your side with your arms tucked under the pillow. That's the most common one. This means you are laid back. The kind of sleepers have a balanced life. They will also be the more relaxed type who usually are open-minded and have playful personalities. You know what? That could easily be me. If you sleep in the fetal position, this is a vulnerable position. Those who sleep in this position will be introverted and can be closed off or shy. If you sleep on your side, with your arms stretched out, less common way of sleeping, 9% do it. These people can be clingy insecure and can often get codependent or get into codependent relationships. Should you sleep spooning your partner? I haven't got one. That's unfair. I am discounted from this by the fact I haven't got one. 1 in 10 men do prefer to cuddle and spoon their partner in bed. Fewer women apparently enjoy this. Younger people are also more likely to cuddle and spoon their partner. 1 in 10, just over 1 in 10, 18 to 24-year-olds will do this, which drops to 4% in the 55 to 64 age group as well. Being in this position is very intimate. Both partners show a longing to be touched. That's nice. Although it's of no use to you if you are single, is it? I feel excluded from that.
Mark Denham on Atom Radio.
We were talking earlier about how you sleep and what it says about you. I absolutely love this email from Jack, which says, none of the positions you describe adequately reflect how I sleep. We have a double bed and I get to sleep on the tiny little bit allocated to me by my wife, who takes up most of the bed. I'm not saying that she's a larger person. It's just that she likes to spread out and I have to fit into the room that she leaves behind. Do you know what, Jack? I'm sure you're probably not the only person in the world who actually has to sleep like that, but good luck telling her, though. You don't want to fall out with her. If you tell her, imagine that, eh? Like you'll be forced then to sleep in the spare room altogether. You'll be on some single blow-up bed or something. All right, love, you haven't left me enough room. Out.
Mark Denham on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
I was never in the Boy Scouts, but I've come up with, the be prepared and everything. I have come up with the name for the trilogy, just in case Boris Johnson is messing with all of our minds. So I'm thinking, we did Lockdown in March. We're currently doing Lockdown 2, The Return. And then, should Boris extend this, or indeed start another one, we could get ready for Lockdown 3, The Revenge.
Mark Denham.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
We have all done something inappropriate in our lives. I'm sure of that. I know that I have. I would be absolutely lying if I said that I had never, ever done anything inappropriate in my life. All right? But this takes the biscuit, I think, or more accurately, the breakfast. The whole breakfast, not just the biscuit. It takes the breakfast. A mum of two has spotted this happening in Kent when a funeral car, a hearse, right, pulled up and a man got out and went to order breakfast, which obviously being locked down, he had to take it away, took it back to the hearse. But the hearse has still got, sadly, somebody on their way to a funeral in it. She said everybody stood there in the car park with their jaws open, could not believe what they were sharing. She's then gone on to share these photos showing a suited man carrying the takeaway bag back towards the hearse and insisted that the deceased woman should not be charged. Well, I'd imagine not, really. The Indian funeral director said one of their workers is diabetic and had permission from the grieving relatives to eat at the fast food restaurant to stop his blood sugar levels from dropping. Like, do you know what? If that had been me, all right, and I am diabetic, if that had been me, I would have, at least if I was driving, I would have parked the hearse up and walked to McDonald's, not park the hearse in there. Or if I was the passenger, I would have said, look, drop me off here, I'm going to run round, get something to eat, and then I'll come back. No way would I have taken the hearse into McDonald's. That is the height of disrespectfulness and the height of inappropriateness. So come on, what have you done then that's inappropriate? Like, obviously I hope nothing that bad, but what have you done that's inappropriate? On air at atomradio.co.uk.
Mark Denham on Atom Radio.
Do you know, that reminds me, myself and me best mate Richard, me Bezzy, and he has a girlfriend and I don't, all right? But I know that if he gets married, I am doing the best man speech at his wedding, and if I get married, he is doing the best man speech at my wedding. I, therefore, despite being single and so far behind in the race, I am determined that I should get married before him, so I know that he has to be on his best behaviour when he does my speech. I'm just thinking that even though I'm single, I have to get married before him. 100% have to.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
Mwah. There you go. Oh, turn that off. Turn that off. I'll finish with that now. Inappropriate things is what we're talking about today on Drive Time. Inappropriate things that you may have done. My roommate had a girl call in for her to work. She was too hungover. She got her mate to call in and tell her boss that she died in a car accident. Everyone in her team at work therefore thought she was dead for 4 days until she could be bothered to sober up and return to work on Monday as if nothing had happened. Funny enough, she didn't even get fired.
Mark Denholm.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
Whilst it is all about the 80s happy hour, the pubs are, however, closed. So you can't have happy hour. You can't go out and have an after-work drink. If you want to have one, you can only have it in your own home with members of your own household or indeed of your social bubble. So I'm thinking, right, if you were to have just one opportunity to pop into a pub during lockdown 2.0, here we are, day 9, you can have one opportunity to pop into a pub with one person and have one happy hour drink. Who would it be and what would your drink be?
AtomRadio.co.uk.
To confirm, because of lockdown restrictions, you cannot, of course, have a happy hour drink with anyone outside your immediate household or your support bubble, and you'd have to have it with your immediate household or support bubble indoors because you can't go to the pub. So that's that. Also to confirm, by the way, on Monday we spoke about Christmas decorations. Are they up? Is it too early for them to be up? I would like to say when we did that on Monday, my Christmas decorations were not up. This podcast is being done on Friday after the Friday show, and my Christmas decorations are still not up. So all is good in my hood. If yours are up, enjoy them. Do you know what? It's a personal thing. Enjoy them. If you're happy, you're happy. And if, putting the Christmas decorations up makes you a little bit happier, then enjoy it. The only thing is, you'd of course had to have bought 2 advent calendars so you could open one day every day in November and then another one in December. It all becomes quite complicated, doesn't it? That's episode 110 of the podcast done. Thank you for checking it out. As always, cheers for your ears. See you next week for another one.
Atom Radio. Playing the music you want to hear.
Check out the show back on Monday on atomradio.co.uk, and don't forget you can subscribe on iTunes, on Spotify and on Google as well. Keep yourself well.
Atom Radio.